What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. Yesterday, I got to release a video giving my first impressions of the new Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game, which will be available on February 2nd or January 30th if you get the deluxe edition. And before we get too far, legally, I have to make sure we say thank you to WB Games because they provided all of my accommodations on my trip to Los Angeles, California, where they let me play the game for about 5 hours on the lot of WB Studios. So it was a really fun event. I very much appreciate that I got to be there, and I got to meet some really great creators. And yesterday, obviously a lot of us got to release our content surrounding the event. There was also traditional media there, the IGNs, the Game Informers of the world. And it was certainly an interesting observation to see that, the creators seem to have more fun with the game than the traditional media. One person in particular that seems to be taking the brunt of everything is Destin from IGN. Now, I don't know which event he went to. The event I was at was over 2 days at WB in Burbank, California. There also was an event, I believe, in the UK at Rocksteady itself, and I assume he was in Burbank, but I don't know. And I don't know him. I've seen him, obviously, like on Twitter. I've seen people quote tweet him, and I'm not a big IGN person or anything, so I have no connection, right? I didn't meet him. I know that I played with Uncaged Games and Caboose. They were the content creators on my day. I know the next day, Comic Historian Lejeune and Dame Falcon were there. Dame Falcon's the only one I don't know. I've definitely seen her content, and I think she's fantastic. So that's awesome. I'm really happy for her. Very happy for Lejeune. It was his first event. I got to go to dinner with him. And obviously the other four I've met many times over the years. Comic Historian's great. You guys know I know Caboose and Uncaged. So that was great, all right? And here's the thing, all right? I feel like because this is in our wheelhouse, this is what we do all the time, and it is going to be beneficial for us, for the game to be successful as content creators that are going to want to make lots of content around this. We went into this optimistically and wanting to see the best of it. I think that's a fair assessment, especially for me. I want the game to do well because I want to have a game that I know I can fire up every day on stream and people are going to want to watch and hear what I have to say. I think that's pretty fair. When it comes to an IGN or Game Informer or Games Radar, some of the other places that I saw had a presence here, it's very much can be a use once and destroy. You know what I mean? Like, play it long enough to get my review done and you're done, right? So I want to talk a little bit about the Flash encounter, because that's where a lot of the controversy of yesterday came from. A lot of people kind of making fun of Destin for his take on, not being able to shoot the fastest man alive. But I get it, okay? I want to give you my perspective on that boss battle, and I'm not actually using gameplay from the boss battle in the background. This is some gameplay I didn't use in my video yesterday, because we all got the same B-roll footage, and you've all seen that video, right? You've all seen the same fight with the Flash between the four characters. We all got the same thing, so let's not use that, all right? But here's the thing, okay? When I went into that fight, I had trouble at the beginning, and I can understand where Destin is coming from in that regard. I don't know who he played with, but I was playing with Caboose and Uncaged Games, and they were really, really good. And our fourth person was a developer from Rocksteady. And he mostly tried to stay out of the way and let us try to figure it out and just kind of support us. But still, he knows what's up. He's done this before. So it was a little bit, easier in that part. And Caboose, I'm just going to, pump his tires a little bit here. Caboose was great. He was really good. He knew what he was doing. And he helped me figure out what I was doing wrong, because I did die at the beginning of the encounter. I didn't know what I was doing. There was a mechanic that was kind of introduced there that, if you blinked, you might have missed. And I missed. I was doing it wrong. And once that was corrected, I found the encounter to be incredibly fun and engaging. You're constantly on the move and bouncing around places and trying to kill all the little enemies and get your meter picked up and everything, right? So you have to use these bullets that are gonna slow him down. There's like a slow time mechanic to it, and it made a lot of sense when you actually kind of figured it out. I'm not gonna sit here and like try to get any like meme points or anything by saying, oh, he's just mad because he's bad, when I certainly said that at first as a joke. But like, I don't know his abilities. I don't know if he's any good at this. It doesn't matter. What matters is what his experience was, and we can't necessarily dispute that. I think the part that a lot of people struggled with was him saying, oh, you know, he just kept moving. Well, yeah. There's a lot going on. It was a chaotic battle. He's literally throwing like tornadoes at you, right? So I feel like the challenge of going to events like this, and I've been so fortunate to go to so many different events over the years. I think the challenge is that, you know, sometimes you just get sat down in front of a game and you don't know what you're doing. You have a certain amount of time. There's pressure to record good video. And then I've had it happen all the time, especially when I'm on stream and things don't go my way. Like we were playing Apex Legends yesterday and I was awful, okay? I was just terrible. And like it does weigh on you a little bit. So I can understand the frustration there. So I do want to defend him a little bit because like it wasn't like there were some mechanics that were kind of new and it was a little bit of a different fight. The Flash wasn't just some bullet sponge that you had to shoot until you couldn't shoot anymore, you know? And I also understand that it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because it almost felt like, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it almost felt like that was his argument. Like, why can't I just shoot him until he dies? You know what I mean? Because that wouldn't be interesting. But it feels like maybe if that is what they did, they just made him a bullet sponge. I feel like maybe he would have been complaining about that. So I don't know. Maybe he never was going to give it a fair shake. But I feel like because of my experience, I wanted to at least come out and relate to some of what he had to say. I was able to kind of figure it out because I had great teammates that figured it out right away and knew what they were doing. And, you know, I was able to overcome my skill issue, as Sadat would say. I'm rooting for this game to do well. I understand that there are people that don't know how the industry works, that would rather just be part of the hive mind and be like, "Ew, you're a shill. Oh, clearly WB Games paid you." No, WB Games didn't pay me. Why would any studio pay some random YouTuber to say nice things about a video game? That's a fantasy that doesn't exist, okay? I want games to do well because I want them to be good. Why wouldn't I want a video game to be good? Why would anybody actively root for a game to be bad? I understand this isn't Batman Arkham Resurgency or Batman Arkham Supremacy or whatever the next Batman game would be. I understand that people feel like, Rocksteady, you had a formula going. Everything was going so well. Why couldn't you just keep doing that? Because they didn't, all right? And that cat's out of the bag. Like, it is never going to be that, all right? It is always going to be this. So you kind of have a choice. You can choose to embrace it, try it, and hopefully like it, or just don't. You're not obligated to play this game. It's not going anywhere. Nothing's changing. It's not going to magically become a Batman game. It is Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, with the longest name that we all hate. All right, we all would have. I think universally, I can say this, that everybody would have obviously rather it be anything else, like a Justice League game, a Superman game, even maybe a Batman game. It doesn't matter. Like, that's what we all probably would have rather, but they didn't do that. If you're upset about the live service aspect about it, I can't do anything about that. All right. All I know is I'm watching Spider-Man fans get really upset that there's nothing else to do. There's no end game in a single player video game. So some people like to play the same game over and over and over again. I'm not one of those people, so I can't relate to that. A single player game I usually play once and go on to the next one. But a game like Avengers, where we had the thought that there was going to be, we thought that there was going to be more to it. We lived on that hook. They dangled that carrot for so long that we kind of just kept. That's what kept us going. And I get that. Nobody wants that to happen again. But I'm hopeful that it won't. I'm hopeful that they're going to be able to keep this game moving forward. And we'll see, And what I saw, I enjoyed. What I saw is enough to maintain my interest and make me want to, play it as much as I can until I don't, And I have, on many occasions, started playing video games, and they haven't done well for me on the channel, and I'll move on. And if that's what happened here, then so be it. I got to go to an event for Redfall, and I wanted that game to do well as well. And the event was cool because you're surrounded by a lot of people that are excited to be there. And then the game came out, and I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't play. I streamed it once, and then we never went back to it. So it happens, right? It happens. So my biggest thing that I want people to take from this, and I know it probably doesn't matter, everybody's planted their feet in the sand, and it's just, you're going to do whatever you're going to do, is just be patient. You don't have to buy the game. You're not required to. And maybe be a little kinder to each other, because I understand that there's something that makes me kind of chuckle about the whole IGN situation, but at the end of the day, he's a real person, and yes, it is actually a little bit of a challenge at the start of that flash fight, and if you don't get the hang of it, you could very easily be stuck in a situation where you feel like that it's not good, it's not working well, and it could be because you're bad, but it also could be because it's different and you didn't pick up on it. So to be fair to him, I want to defend him a little bit and just say that I don't agree that it was a bad encounter, but I do understand and agree on how he could have gotten there. You know what I mean? The other complaint I saw a lot yesterday was that the screen was so full, and keep in mind, this is basically an older build. I did have a glitch where certain prompts kind of stuck on my screen, which I probably should have addressed, but we're in the middle of playing, so I never really got to it. I just it would go away from time to time. But a lot of the stuff can be turned off in the HUD and adjusted, but I don't know, man. I guess I've played Diablo. I've seen plenty of these games where there's damage numbers all over the screen and blur and motion and everything everywhere. None of that bothered me playing the game, so I guess that's my takeaway there. But in any event, this game is coming, whether you like it or not. So either play it or don't play it. I think that there's a lot of potential there for it to be a fun game that people really enjoy for a long time, and that's what I hope it ends up being. And that's pretty much what I have to say about the whole controversy about IGN. I hope you guys enjoy the video. We'll see you.